Hello, and welcome to Morning Reflections here at Voice of the Fat Mantis. It's where I sit back and I make commentary about politics, news, and all the other nonsense that's happening in the world. The type of content that will scare viewers away and lower my very desperately needed subscriber base. But what is the point of having a YouTube channel if you can't just go for it? So here goes. It looks like an unlikely superhero, Iron Man, aka Elon Musk, is here to save us. How is he saving us? He's saving democracy and you, whether you like it or not. He's given us freedom of speech, something we haven't had quite a minute. How is he doing this? He is doing a hostile takeover of Twitter. I'm going to pray for the man. Hope he is successful in his venture of fixing all these horrors. The thing is that if you use Twitter, you're probably a lovely, amazing person, but you're also probably a psychopath. Because that place is filled with nothing but hostility. People call it discourse, but it's hostility. It's a pack of lies. It's clearly has politically motivated banning and destruction of people's their platforms, their dignity. It's the place where canceling happens, and it is just, well, what could I say? A cesspool. A cesspool, basically. That is what Twitter is. It is certainly not a freedom of speech thing. And once Elon Musk takes over, he claims he's going to make it free speech. He's going to make sure that there's less banning, less cancellations, and just actually be a place where actual discourse can happen. Now, I wish him so much luck. I notice media is already attacking him on every level.
When talking about this, it's kind of funny. Oh, Elon Musk wants to buy it, but there are massive life and globe altering consequences for just letting people run wild on the thing.
Well, this morning I was watching ABC News, and they pretty much did a General Motors ad about their future electric car, and they kept going on about how they're gonna beat Elon Musk. It was essentially a commercial. You know why? They really need him stopped. They want him stopped because pushing false narratives, particularly in places like Twitter, is where the lefties get their power. They're empowered by preaching these lies and increasing enragement. Like, for instance, swung a narrative against police. And now structurally as a society, everyone hates cops.
You know what I hate? I hate cops, police officers of the law, pigs.
The fact is, some cops are good and some cops are bad. And their behavior, like most human behavior, falls on a bell curve. Saying all cops are bad is like saying all gay dudes can dance. And trust me, not all gay dudes can dance. Just look at Carlton from Fresh Prince, for example. There shouldn't be anyone who tells you what the truth or a lie is. We all have our own truths, and who is the great wise seer who's going to be able to tell us what actual truth is? People will look at places like Snopes and they'll be like, well, they said this is a fact, or this really happened. Were they there? Were they there? I don't know. I doubt that they were. I doubt that anyone who writes or contributes to Snopes or any of the tech guys who are running it were actually there at any given event. They look it up on their own sources, and I have found blatant lies on their fact-checking, whatever the hell that means. Why am I going on about the truth? Because the leftists who wish to protect Twitter from the grubby hands of Elon Musk believe they are defending the truth. Just as the conservatives who find themselves kicked off or usually shadow banned on Twitter wish to reveal the truth to the world that they believe is being hidden. But at the end of the day, truth is suggestive, and the only thing that either side is protecting is their own truth. And wouldn't it be good that instead of these social media places just being echo chambers for particular thought, Twitter currently being a leftist echo chamber, wouldn't it be great if we could all speak collectively our truths? And there doesn't have to be one or the other that squashes it out, and people will be able to decide for themselves about what is true and what is false. With the exception of actually litigious libel, I don't believe that there should be anyone to declare what the truth is. But really, I have digressed to the infinite degree at this point. Cheers to Elon Musk. Good luck out there, brother. Godspeed. Maybe I'll start using Twitter again. Maybe I'll make a new account. I'll be like, yay, freedom! And I'll be just a muskrat going out there just tweeting about how awesome our future Martian overlord is. It's gonna be a wild time. I love it. Speaking of liars, so Black Lives Matter. Recently, I'm sure you have heard, a lot of the money, if you donated to Black Lives Matter, has probably been misused, particularly in its overlords' real estate holdings. They bought a bunch of mansions and overpriced houses, and they either sit on them or flip them for more money. When the scandal broke out, the head of Black Lives Matter, Patrisse Cullors, placed her wife in charge of Black Lives Matter in her place so that the embezzlement and the corruption could continue. Now, we don't know where the $60 million that has been donated since the Summer of Madness is, but I will tell you this. Recently, the original head of Black Lives Matter was speaking at a thing, and here's what they had to say.
First of all, number one, I actually did not know what 990s were before all of this happened.
It's confusing.
So part of the opportunity here is to educate our folks. Like, something's being weaponized against us that many people don't even know. Yeah, the accountant handled that. Like, I don't know what that is. It is such a trip now to hear the word, the term 990s. I'm like, ugh, it's like triggering.
So for those of you who don't know, a 990, a nonprofit, files to report income for tax information. This organization has been existent since 2012. You are telling me you don't know what a 990 is? It's been 10 years of your existence. You have not every year filed a 990? Are you kidding me? Now, what she's doing is she's continuing the grift, and this is fascinating right here. What she is doing is she is playing off of white allies' lowered expectations. The worst form of racism, in my opinion. One of the worst forms of racism, because you don't realize you're being a racist. What is a lower expectation? You encounter a minority, usually a black person, and you assume you have lowered expectations on their lives and their things. Like, for instance, they're unable to get voter IDs because they don't know where the DMV is. They probably don't own a car. They probably don't know how to ask for directions or look it up. They probably don't know how to have internet access, as I've heard people say about black people. That's awkward. That's an awkward one. And, you're probably not college educated or have any semblance of education. And you probably have multiple children with multiple people you never married. Is ultimately the biggest forms of lowered expectations. And so what she is playing on is she's simply saying, I'm just a simple folk. I don't know what taxes are. And people are like, well, she doesn't. Well, I'm not falling for it, and neither should you. Don't let the grift continue. We need to fight this on every aspect. I'm unfortunately a believer that true justice doesn't happen. Rarely ever come. Probably going to get away with it. That is a tragedy. These race grifters and scam artists are just destroying it all. It's truly horrible. So let me get this. Let me just kick this off right. It sounds like I'm being very harsh on white, particularly people who refer to them as white allies. And I ain't got no problem with white people. Heck, my father was white. Some of my favorite people are white. My driver is a white guy. There you go. But those are my views as I see them for the day. What are your guys' thoughts? What are your thoughts on lower expectations? Have you ever encountered something like that? Or what do you think about this chick from Black Lives Matter? Please let me know down in the comments. And all hail Elon Musk and the freedom he's going to provide for us. Thank you so much. Finally, power to the people. I'm going to go make a Twitter account. No, I'm probably not. Anyway, until next time, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, ciao for now. Hi guys, still the Fat Mantis over here. If you guys are into these kind of hot button topics and fresh takes and fun conversation, you don't always have to wait for my twice a week commentary videos to engage in them with me, the Fat Mantis. I actually do a live stream every morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I can be found on Twitch and at Spotify Green Room for you audiophiles who just want to have a radio experience. It's fun. We hang out. We do all sorts of things. We may talk about the news. We may talk about the issues of the day, or we could just be hanging out, talking about comics, video games, whatever you like. Wherever the chat takes us is where we're headed. We get a little zany over there, but it's a good time, and quite frankly, it's a great way to start my morning. And yes, I don't wake up till 11, but I hope to see you guys there. Please check me out on my other apps. I'm going to be creating content literally every single day for you guys because I love you. Now, this is the real ciao for now.